This is Composite News Lab for 2025-08-20, your daily signal from the film and TV world across Japan, the US, and Asia. Built for indie filmmakers, producers, and creatives making cross-border work. We track funds, festival rules, incentives, streamer shifts, legal updates, and distribution experiments with exact dates, amounts, and eligibility. Let's get into today's news.
Okay, let's unpack this. We've got quite a stack of fascinating updates from across the global film and TV landscape today. From major shifts in where things are getting made, production hubs, to some surprising new avenues for short-form content. It's a really dynamic, maybe even a bit wild time for creators like you working across borders. So our mission today is to kind of cut through that noise and really deliver those critical nuggets of knowledge directly to you.
Yeah, and what's truly fascinating here, I think, is how interconnected these global trends are, even when they seem totally separate. We'll try and connect the dots on what these policy changes, these market movements, and yeah, the tech innovations really mean for your projects, giving you practical insights and actionable things to watch for, especially when you're planning that next cross-border move.
Okay, let's jump straight into Asia then. Seems like the market there is really buzzing with opportunities, new formats, key events.
Absolutely. Yeah, if you're eyeing Asia, you need to know about the Korea International Streaming Festival, KISSF, and the Global OTT Awards. They're happening like right now, August 22nd to the 25th down in Busan. And this isn't just another festival, it's really a prime networking hub, especially if you're looking at OTT deals or pushing micro-series.
Series, okay. Interesting.
Yeah, you'll find the major streamers there, telcos and MCN's multi-channel networks, right? Those folks helping creators monetize. They're all looking for content. So if you're maybe making a last-minute play for a badge or trying to squeeze in a meeting, the advice is pretty sharp. Bring short sizzle reels and one-page pitch beats, specifically tailored for ad-supported tiers.
Ad-supported, got it.
Exactly. Think about showing how your content fits a demo, its potential frequency, and crucially, that it offers brand-safe inventory. It really signals that buyers are interested in that snackable, monetizable content.
So KISS is really highlighting the shift towards shorter content. And it sounds like this momentum isn't just festivals, right? Singapore's government is getting involved.
That's right. Singapore's IMDA, their Infocom Media Development Authority, is officially rolling out its national microdrama push. Started this month, August 2025. This was confirmed back in April, and it's a direct governmental push. Short form, mobile-first content, distributed via local networks.
Mobile first. Key point there.
Totally. So for creators like you, if you have episodic formats, say 2 minutes or less, now's the time. Line up partners in Singapore, local broadcasters, MCNs, and package your stuff with ad tier extensions in mind from the get-go. The timing looks particularly good for like quick turn doc, comedy, reality verticals.
Yeah.
What's really clear from both KISS and Singapore is this strong signal. Short-form, episodic bundles. They're finding real money in AVOD, ad-supported video on demand, and fast channels. Free ad-supported streaming TV.
Like Pluto TV or Tubi.
Exactly. So prepping those ad-friendly pitch materials, it's becoming critical.
Okay. And shifting gears a bit, for those of you maybe scouting locations or planning shoots across borders, there's some good news out of Vietnam. Less red tape.
Yeah, that's a pretty significant development for just moving around the region. Effective August 15th, Vietnam added 23 more countries to its visa waiver list. Brings the total up to 100 countries now.
Wow.
It dramatically cuts down the travel friction for reset trips, meetings, and especially helpful for dock crews hopping between ASEAN nations. Just, double-check your passport is in the new cohort.
Yeah.
And standard advice, keep your car nets tight for your gear.
Car nets, right, those equipment passports.
Exactly. It just makes crossing borders with kit smoother. This really eases location scouting in ASEAN, makes those festival swings, say HCMC or Hanoi over to Singapore, Bangkok, Busan, just much easier.
Good practical tip. And while we're on Asia, I think you mentioned an animation opportunity in Japan.
That's right. The Tokyo Anime Award Festival, TAAF. They've opened their call for entries for the 2026 festival. This is for animation features and shorts. The screenings are scheduled for Tokyo in March 2026. So for creators, it's smart to check out their tech stacks, premiere rules, all that now. Align it with the Winter-Spring Festival circuit, Think Anime Japan, TIFCOM pipelines.
So getting in early helps line things up later?
Precisely. Nailing a TAF entry now lets Japanese projects prime themselves for a Q1 festival spot. Get in sync with buyers at Anime Japan. It's especially useful if you've got manga-originated IP looking for cross-media plays. And honestly, it can really impact funding for smaller animation studios, gives them a strong festival presence early on.
Okay, let's switch focus. Let's talk money, the big motivator for global productions.
Yeah.
Tax incentives, funding. Sounds like some major shifts are happening.
Right. Money definitely talks.
Yeah.
And yeah, big moves. Japan's Ministry of Economy, Trade and Industry, MEDI, is running its third round of the location production incentive. But deadlines are tight. Applications close August 22nd. Very soon.
August 22nd. Okay. What's the deal?
It's significant.
Yeah.
A 50% cash rebate on qualifying spending in Japan, capped at 1 billion yen, which is roughly, what, $6.6 million US per project?
50% cash rebate. That's huge.
It is. To qualify, your overseas film, series, or animation project needs to shoot in Japan, obviously. You need a local Japanese production partner. And you have to meet minimum spend thresholds, like at least 500 million yen spent in Japan. It's all part of their JLOX Plus initiative, basically designed to lure those high-budget international productions.
So great opportunity for big projects, but you need that local partner and gotta promote Japan on screen.
Exactly. It's strategic for Japan, trying to cement itself as a top production hub.
Okay, interesting. Now, shifting over to Europe, there's a new incentive in Ireland that could potentially link up with Asian productions. How does that work?
Yeah, it's Ireland's new unscripted TV tax credit. Just got the green light from the EU on August 8th. It's specifically for the unscripted sector docs, reality formats, that sort of thing.
The unscripted, okay.
So the practical angle, say for Japanese or other Asian creators, is you could potentially structure your project as an Irish majority production, or even just a service production. Work with an Irish production company. And that lets you kind of co-load the Irish tax relief with brand or sponsor money, which is pretty common in unscripted anyway.
Ah, okay, combining funding streams.
Exactly. Keep a close eye out for Ireland's revenue guidance, though the exact rates, caps, eligibility details aren't fully out yet. But it definitely opens up a fresh co-financing leg. If you're making docs or formats, pairing maybe Japanese or Asian stories with an Irish base. Think presenter-led shows, competitions, travel, food docs.
Creative financing across regions. Got it.
It's about finding those angles.
All right, let's bring it back stateside. Major development in the U.S. movement on a key federal tax incentive, Section 181. This impacts pretty much every indie filmmaker, right?
Oh, absolutely. We're talking about the U.S. CREATE Act. This is a big deal. The bipartisan bicameral bill introduced August 13th. Its whole goal is to extend and expand Section 181.
Remind us quickly, Section 181.
Right. It's basically the only federal tax incentive for film and TV made in the U.S. Currently, it lets you write off 100% of your production costs in the year you spend the money. For indie filmmakers trying to budget, that's like getting a huge chunk back immediately. It can literally make or break a project.
Make or break, yeah.
And without this CREATE Act, Section 181 is set to expire for any project starting after December 31st, 2025. This bill would renew it through 2030 and raise the deduction limits. It's got strong backing: DGA, SAG-AFTRA, WGA, the MPA. Everyone's behind it.
Because otherwise productions might leave.
That's the fear. You know, California just doubled its state credit to $750 million a year. Losing the federal incentive on top of that, it could definitely push more productions overseas. Getting this act passed quickly is seen as really vital for protecting American jobs and just keeping indie filmmaking viable here.
Right. It's easy to get lost in the legislative weeds, but these incentives fundamentally shift where the big movies get made. We've seen some huge headlines recently that really drive this home.
Indeed. And the most talked about example right now is probably Marvel's UK exodus. After basically a decade making, over 22 projects in Georgia, mostly at Trellis Studios.
Yeah, they practically built that place.
Right. Now they're moving production for massive titles. Fantastic Four, First Steps, The Next Avengers, Spider-Man, all heading to the UK for the foreseeable future. And the numbers kind of back it up. Georgia's production spending dropped 50% in 3 years. The UK grew 16% in the same period.
Wow. So why the shift?
Well, the UK offers similar 30% tax credits, that's true. But the key difference seems to be significantly cheaper labor. British crews don't typically require employer-covered health insurance, and their overall pay scales are lower. Costs in Georgia have been rising.
So it really just comes down to the bottom line, even for Marvel.
It seems so. And it highlights this bigger picture, right? State pour money into these incentives, hoping to build lasting industries. But does it just create a kind of nomadic business, always chasing the cheapest deal? Even long-term hubs like Georgia, it turns out, aren't totally safe when a more cost-effective option pops up. It's just constant global competition.
A tough reality. Okay, so beyond where things are shot, let's talk about how content is evolving. The actual making, distribution, conception, AI is entering the chat, new models.
Precisely. And China's making moves here. Their National Radio and Television Administration, the NRTA, rolled out a new content renewal plan just a couple of days ago, August 18th. These new guidelines are all about boosting the quality and, crucially, the global appeal of their domestic TV programming.
Global appeal, interesting. What kind of content?
They're specifically calling for more support for mini-dramas, those short-form scripted series we talked about. Also documentaries, animations, and even high-quality foreign shows finding a place on Chinese TV. The goal seems to be leveraging soft power through innovative short-form stuff and also improving IP enforcement.
So for our listeners, this could mean...
Potentially, yeah. More slots for doc and animation projects within China, maybe new openings for international co-pro or licensing deals into China, especially if your content fits this new quality-first push. It's definitely a strategic play to shape their global content footprint.
And speaking of those mini-dramas, there's a big player setting up a whole new distribution system for them.
Yeah, that's Kohl Group. They're based in Beijing, started as a digital publisher. Now they're a studio, too. Mid-August, they launched what they're calling the world's largest microdrama distribution hub.
World's largest. Okay.
Yeah, that's their claim. It comes stocked with over 1,000 serialized short-form titles, both English and Chinese versions, ready for licensing to basically anyone, broadcasters, streamers, telcos, digital platforms. Seoul's known for some massive viral hits in China, like From Rags to Rank 1. Apparently got over 1 billion views.
1 billion. Wow.
Yeah. And what's also interesting is they're integrating AI into their production pipeline, even making AI-generated anime. So the rise of these microdramas, often under 2 minutes an episode, it just offers totally new distribution paths. Seoul's hub could make it way easier for regional platforms to acquire this stuff, test new monetization. It really provides this potentially fast, lower-budget way to reach huge audiences, especially as attention spans, it shift towards snackable content. It's a fascinating model for high-volume, quick-turn production.
Absolutely. And if we zoom out a bit, connecting this to the bigger picture, it feels like entire regions are trying to build their own content ecosystems now, using tech, new distribution.
Yeah, exactly. Look at the ASEAN summit that was in Malaysia, late July. The Southeast Asian film agencies there. They put out a really strong call for more regional integration in content creation. They've even proposed creating a region-wide co-production treaty, or maybe an MOU, a Memorandum of Understanding. The idea is to ease cross-border productions, make it easier for crews to move between the 10 ASEAN countries.
It's sort of Schengen area for film crews?
Kind of, yeah.
Huh.
And the summit also emphasized inclusive practices, hiring local crews, amplifying indigenous voices, all under the shared ASEAN identity banner. Another big idea getting traction is the shared streaming portal, tentatively called Screen ASEAN.
Screen ASEAN, like a regional Netflix alternative.
Essentially, yeah. An OTT platform just to showcase Southeast Asian films. Strengthen local content visibility, reduce reliance on the big Western streamers. Now, if these initiatives actually get off the ground, they could unlock some serious co-financing and distribution opportunities for indie films within that 10-nation bloc. So creators should definitely keep an eye out for any Screen Asian launch news or details on those co-production frameworks. Could really reshape how content moves in Southeast Asia.
Very interesting regional play. And sticking with Asia, but moving to the tech front, Busan's launching something new focused on film and AI.
That's right. It's the Busan Asian Contents and Film Market, the ACFM. They're launching their inaugural InnoAsia program, runs September 20th to 23rd. This is a totally new platform, specifically designed to spotlight where filmmaking meets cutting-edge tech.
So bringing tech giants and filmmakers together.
Exactly. They're bringing in global players, AWS, Google Cloud, Midjourney, alongside Asian startups too, like Korea's Kling AI, TikTok's Jameng AI unit, India's Mugafi. The goal is really exploring how emerging tech, especially AI, can drive the future of content creation.
What does the program actually involve?
It's got 5 main parts. Conferences looking at AI in cinema, new IP and copyright models, an AI bootcamp hands-on training with generative AI tools, a works-in-progress showcase specifically for AI-augmented films, an interactive tech lounge for demos, and startup investment events.
Sounds comprehensive. Why is this significant now?
Well, it's really the first major concerted effort at an Asian film market to bring tech firms and creators together at this scale, focused on these new tools. Gives you a real glimpse into new storytelling possibilities, potential partnerships in the AI and Web3 space, decentralized internet, blockchain, NFTs, that whole area. Really underscores this regional push for what they're calling innovation sustainability in the content world. It's a peek at the future for production, potentially.
Definitely something to watch. Okay, let's shift back closer to home. The American media landscape never stands still. Major rebrands, big deals. shaking things up.
Nope, never a dull moment. One rebrand that certainly got people talking is MSNBC becoming MSNOW.
MSNOW. What's the story there?
It stands for My Source News Opinion World, apparently. It's part of NBC Universal spinning off its cable properties into a new company called Versant, the famous peacock logo. That stays with NBCU, so all the channels being spun off needed new branding.
Right. But why MSNOW?
The official line is to end brand confusion between MSNBC's progressive opinion shows and NBC News' more neutral reporting, a clear separation. The internet had some thoughts, predictably mocked the name pretty hard. The full switch happens by year's end when Versant launches.
Brand confusion or just corporate restructuring? Okay.
Yeah.
We're also seeing interesting moves in how talent and content get distributed, right? Especially creators moving to streamers.
Definitely. Look at Mark Rober, the YouTube creator, former NASA engineer, huge following.
Yeah, millions of subs.
He just landed a deal with Netflix, a family-friendly competition series for 2026. Jimmy Kimmel's company, Kimmelot, is producing. And Netflix is also going to license some of his existing YouTube back catalog. It's part of this growing creator-to-streamer pipeline, tapping into stars who bring their built-in fan base right along with them.
Smart move by Netflix. Any other big distribution deals?
Well, Paramount is reportedly in talks with Legendary for a global theatrical distribution deal, excluding China, that is. It would include a Paramount Plus streaming window for Legendary's films, too. Although the big Legendary franchises Dune, the Monsterverse, those are staying with Warner Bros. But this deal would help Paramount hit its target of putting out 15, 20 films a year. So good for Legendary's distribution, good for Paramount's volume.
Makes sense. And speaking of consolidation, a huge merger is happening in local TV.
That's the Nexstar deal to buy Tegna, $6.2 billion. This combines two of the three biggest local TV station owners in the U.S., creates this massive network of 265 stations covering something like 80% of U.S. households.
80%. That's enormous reach.
It is. Nexstar's CEO even publicly thanked the previous FCC administration for essentially paving the way by challenging rules that used to cap station ownership reach at 39%. This combined company could generate over $8 billion in revenue. Puts them in the same lead financially as Fox or Paramount. It's still waiting on regulatory approval, probably closing late 2026. But yeah, huge consolidation, fewer, bigger players controlling local distribution could definitely impact indie producers looking for local deals.
Wow. Okay, on a slightly lighter note, but still about audience focus, something caught our eye involving a dog.
Yeah. Shudder's new film, Good Boy. They dropped the trailer. It's a haunted house thriller, but get this. It's shot entirely from the dog's point of view.
From the dog's POV. Okay, that's different.
Right. It follows this loyal pup, Indy, who can see all the spooky stuff his human owner can't. But the really telling part, within hours of the trailer hitting, Google searches for the phrase, "Does the dog die?" apparently spiked by 2,000%.
2,000%. Forget the ghosts.
Exactly. It just perfectly shows what audiences really care about, doesn't it? And how quickly that sentiment can drive engagement around a piece of content. It became an instant meme.
Audience priorities, loud and clear.
Okay, so pulling all these threads together,
Yeah.
what's the bigger picture here?
Well, if we connect it all, right, we're seeing content become like hyper-local in some ways, driven by these specific incentives, regional platforms like Screen ASEAN potentially. Yet at the exact same time, it's becoming hyper-global through these huge distribution hubs like CLL groups and these direct creator deals that totally bypass old borders. We're also seeing the very definition of TV and film just getting stretched and pulled.
Yeah.
By microdramas, by AI integration. So I think this raises a really important question for you, the creator listening right now. As these barriers to entry keep coming down and the formats just multiply like crazy, what unique stories, what unique perspectives can you offer that can genuinely cut through all this noise in this incredibly fragmented yet somehow totally globally connected landscape we're in? A powerful question to leave us with. That's a wrap for today's deep dive. If there's anything you want to know or maybe go deeper on, just drop it in the comments. We'll pull the sources and break it down for you. If a deadline we mentioned is coming up, maybe set a reminder now, subscribe and follow to keep your edge, and I'll see you tomorrow.